Okay, we are live. Yes, a scheduled and timed live stream. First things first, I still haven't been able to connect the new internet device, this one here. I'll do that today. I need a code for the thing. That should help. If the live stream, if the connection is lost, I will reconnect it. So if that happens, then just give me a few seconds and I should be back. So yeah, okay. I had a conversation with a friend, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and she said that, why don't you do scheduled and timed live streams? And I said, well, I don't want that commitment, but let's face it, it is a commitment. And I am actually going to do these on a very, very structured and scheduled basis, so to speak. At the moment, I'm thinking 6 o'clock in the morning, Norwegian time, Monday to Friday. And I will probably be using, I think it's called StreamYard, so that I can show you some articles and stuff. It will be unprepared. Actually, I'll just have a look at the news. We can talk about the news a little bit and have a general discussion. I will be avoiding sensitive topics. No, I won't. But it's because of this, the way things are, people are so sensitive and triggered, to the left, to the right. I see no difference there. Bunch of sensitive snowflakes. Gonna check if your main mic is turned on. I haven't made any changes. Maybe this is better if it's a little bit further away. Let me just have a look. Now it's the same. Yeah, it's the sound is the same. I can't. Now that I've started, I can't change that. There is no difference here. No difference. This is a very expensive microphone, by the way. So no, there is no difference here. The same as I haven't made any changes to that setup. Okay. Let's see. No, it's all fine. It is all fine. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I'll just continue here. So that's the plan. That's the plan. Why? Why? So the why is that some time ago, some time ago, I felt that I can't play the YouTube game anymore. It's just, well, it's extortion, really. And no, I can't do that. I can't be chasing the views. I can't. No. So it's more, what I like about YouTube is the community, around your channel. So that's what we're going to do here, because I sensed that we are creating that kind of community here, and that's what matters. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't bother doing this. But okay, so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to keep doing, and I will make sure that we do not get this community destroyed by hate, by people who can't behave. And that's why if I see that in the chat, I'm myself and the moderators will be deleting comments or kicking those people out of the platform, of the channel, I mean, instantly, because we don't have time for that, and I don't want it here. Yeah, so that's the plan. I will get access to a neutral news website, and have a look at that while we talk. I think that can be good, So at this time, it will probably be at this time, 6 o'clock in the morning Norwegian time, because that is when people wake up here in Norway, and it is late evening or evening in the USA, Canada, and South America. So, yes. Let's see here. What else is there? Yeah. Okay, so what also seems to be the case is that this whole YouTube thing and social media and all of that, it can be good and it can be bad. It can be bad in the sense that it becomes negative, and negativity sells, and the platform thrives on negativity. That's not what I want to do, and that means that I'll get less views, but what I'll do is that I'll try to build a community here. Yeah, so that's the plan. And people will disagree because we're not the same person, so that's fine. But people need to learn to express themselves in a somewhat respectful manner. Yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, something I'm forgetting now, but is the sound okay? Is the sound okay? As I said, it is the same setup as I've used for weeks now. I haven't made any changes. So shouldn't be any changes. Sounds great. Okay. These things, both the image quality and the sound, can be dependent on your internet connection. Sometimes it's my internet connection, but I don't think this microphone and all that, I don't think it's that. So, yeah, because as I said, I haven't made any listen, yeah, let's see here. I'll just have a look here. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, source of the audio, of course. Of course, I know what you're talking about, but you know, we'll just keep going like this, okay? And if I forgot to switch on the to choose this microphone here, and it's coming from the screen instead, then of course that can be an explanation. I don't usually forget that, but okay, yeah, it's coming from the, so probably I forgot. Okay, I probably forgot. So it's from probably from the computer screen. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if I can change that here. I don't think I can change it while I'm talking. Let's see. No. Okay. I'll just keep going. Yeah. Okay. I can tap it. Can you hear this? Can you hear this? Okay. Problem solved. Not solved, but the mystery is solved. I forgot to choose this microphone here. Okay. That's the reason. And I can't change that now. I'm sorry. These things will happen. And I don't think I can, let's see, maybe here. No. Maybe here. No. Okay. I'll just keep going. I'm sorry about that. It's because I had this thing scheduled, and that was enough for me, which I don't usually do. And that was enough for me to forget to choose this external microphone. Yeah. Okay. So I can be able to do like this. Will that make any changes at all? No. Let me know if you can't hear me at all now. Then that it's definitely solved that mystery. This sounds better. Okay. This is very, very boring and not interesting at all to people who listen to this after the live stream. So we won't be talking about that anymore. Okay. Now, so what I'm seeing is, in a general sense, actually, I don't like this at all. I need habits. No. So basically, what I'm seeing is some interesting developments, kind of expected, but so on the main channel, and I will sometimes here talk about videos on the main channel. Yeah, top model, that's me. And my main channel, it's linked to that in the video description. That's the one with my name. And I made a video, about basically the coming war in Europe, or how European nations are now building up their military power like crazy, and I said there's a madness in Europe, and that madness is called war. If you look at the numbers, is going to be quite massive. You know, the military power. And also, if you look at the history of Europe, it's a history of war. And this is a fact. What I'm saying now is a fact. Okay. And I got so much hate in the comment section of that video. And I saw that. Well, so if you're interested, you know, the typical, two kinds of comments there. One is the typical idiotic American comment where, oh, you Europeans are weak. You need the USA to fight. You are weak and you're worth nothing. That kind of comment. And I see those comments a lot. And the other kind of comment was, oh, Russia is evil. We need all of this military to fight the Russians, and you're naive if you think, and also, oh, you're Putin's friend if you don't want to kill Russians, and so on. And I would say that most of the comments, and we're talking hundreds upon hundreds of comments, were like that. And this tells me something. Well, they're both wrong, obviously, but this tells me something about people today. People today seem to be. Now, let me just add something to the equation here. People don't read books anymore. Did you know that? No. Of course, some people read books. Some people read books, but it's gotten to such a low level now that it's affecting the publishing industry. And if you add that to the equation, so less and less people read books. And also more and more people think that they're experts on things. And, you know, I've gotten a lot of hate mail from, you know, people who at least they call themselves Christians. That's been a constant thing. I got a letter the other day, you know, and those people will go out of their way to reach me, and I'm used to that. But I'm not really used to people claiming to be experts. They don't say that they're experts, but they're being very blunt and very. You can tell that they're sure that they are right. They're right, you know. And there is a total lack of humility, which I see. Okay, we are back. I will get everything sorted out today. As I said, I have this thing here. It should be better. I'll sort that out today. Yeah, so basically, so people don't read books as a general rule, and they also think that they're experts on things, everything now. And this is also, you know, linked to this is, of course, that the fact that, you know, how people think the earth is flat, and the earth is it 5,000 or 8,000 years old, which is something that happens when you don't read proper books, and you get into these rabbit holes on the internet. And these people are extremely, they're a nuisance when they come here in the comment section. We might see some of them, probably not, but sometimes they show up here, and but we hopefully we won't see them now. And and this is what I want to avoid here on this this channel. Okay. And you know, it's, to me, actually, with the audio, I can't change it while I'm talking. I'm sorry. It's a little bit frustrating, people telling me the audio is not good. It's sort of it. What I do then is I move the chat away so I don't see it, because it gets me out of the flow there, and I can't do it. I can't change it while I'm doing the live stream. Maybe there are people who know how to do that, but I can't do that. So, but anyway, I have realized that I cannot, as with the audio, I can't change that kind of behavior, and it's here to stay. And in a historical perspective, I think that what we are seeing now is, you know, there's been times of enlightenment. So you had the Dark Ages, right? Religious dogma and all of that. And then we had a time of enlightenment. And I think maybe we're kind of seeing a little bit of going back to Dark Ages now. But it might be that these people who believe in crazy stuff, that they are enabled to be very loud now because of the internet, because of social media. But also you do see it on a governmental level as well, like the governments making decisions that are not based on common sense at all. And we see a little bit of that under the Trump administration, of course, but also you can go to you can go to Norway. The warmongering is, the way I see it, this rhetoric that, oh, we need to be on the right side of history, and that's why we need to send our kids to fight at the front in Ukraine. That's basically going back to the Dark Ages, as the way I see it, because you're not on the right side of history if that's what you think will solve problems. But we are seeing it all the time. And it's easy for these people, of course, to sit in their warm offices to send other people to the front. They're not going there. So, yeah. The man with the yellow hat, thank you so much for that live stream. No, sorry. Thank you so much for the donation. And you're saying that you had a funny thought for a live stream title. That's what happens when you read, when I read at the same time as I'm talking. Bjorn talks my ear off. I don't know why, but I thought it was funny. Yeah. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah. I said before that, you know, if okay, so let's talk a little bit about the thing with war, the thing with living under a totalitarian regime. When it comes to the totalitarian thing, I disagree with the people who say that Norway, for instance, where I'm from, it's such a, it's a free country. It's so great. Well, it's good to be here, but I am seeing that changing rapidly. So, main reason is that the war propaganda, the propaganda for Russia bad, now we need to fight the Russians in Ukraine. And there is a real discussion, high-level political real discussion about sending soldiers to Ukraine, kids to Ukraine to fight. And I have children in that age group, so to speak. And I am also on the list there. I can be sent there. I'm probably too old, but I'm not on paper too old, And also, they are saying that basically we're just going to start spending an insane amount of money on weapons, and the weapon industry, they're uploading this, of course. But if you get sick here, let's say you have a diagnosis that requires a very expensive treatment, very, very expensive treatment, you won't get that here, typically. They can't find the money for that. But when it comes to the war in Ukraine and sending weapons there, there is no limit. There is no limit to how, because this is about Norwegian security. This is about defending freedom and democracy. That's what they're saying. And I'm just over here thinking, other people out there who actually believe that? Probably. Because there are lots of naive people in this world. And at the same time, you have talks in the USA, at least your President Trump in the USA is saying that we want 0% tax on incomes under $150,000 per year. So let me think. Two alternatives. I can stay in Norway and pay around 50% tax, and risking having my kids sent to the front in Ukraine. And me, myself, actually also being on the list of people that the military can just use. And also, I don't like the cold weather anymore. So that's one alternative. And the other alternative is to maybe move to somewhere warm and nice in the USA and pay 0% tax. And they are not talking about sending kids to fight in Ukraine there over in the USA. What a difficult choice. What a difficult choice that is. What would you do? And before someone listening to this feel the temptation to write okay. We are back. So you do that then, because what I'm seeing is that it's typically the people who they themselves are not going to fight, who wants to fight. It's not the people, the young kids themselves. How strange that is. Yeah. Concerning, actually, I talked about moving to the USA a couple of days ago or before the weekend. And I want to thank you all for sending me many, many suggestions. Wonderful. But I don't want to go to anywhere that looks like Norway. I want to go to somewhere near the sea and warm. My neck doesn't like the cold anymore. So near the sea and warm. I'm thinking the Carolinas. Never been there. That area there, North Carolina, Alabama, yeah. So it's like I don't know. I don't know the winters. Pennsylvania, I think that's colder, like snow in the winter and so on. I don't know. I know so little about that area. Yeah, Florida as well. Yeah. Pennsylvania is very cold. Texas, Pennsylvania is like Norway. Florida is expensive. Hawaii. Bjorn says you'd be stone's throw away from me. Is that North Carolina, or is it Florida? Yeah, no. So South Carolina. Yeah. Well, Ontario. Well, no, actually, it would have to be the USA because of the taxes. If the old man can pull it off, I don't know. I need to see that happening first. Yeah. Ontario's cold, Lake Norway. No, I'm sick and tired of the cold. For 52 years, I've had cold winters and snow. It's enough. It's enough. New countries guy, the Anchor Punch Boxing News says you want to move somewhere in the Sun Belt. The more south, the warmer. Don't go north. Yeah. Daniel says Texas aren't going away ever. Yeah. But I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Grandma Mello says my neck doesn't do Michigan as well as it used to. Michigan is beautiful in the summer, lots of people snow, but summer south, winter north. Yeah. Trisha says North Carolina by the ocean, by the beach, facing towards Norway. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, but this is actually, we need to have some dreams, and also they shouldn't just remain dreams. I mean, this is a bit personal. Is that okay? Is that okay? Because during these live streams we talk about whatever, but the whole point here is that And I'll get the sound sorted out if you're new to this live stream. I forgot to choose this microphone here, so it's coming from the screen. I think I'm 90% certain of that, but so because I'm not 100% certain, I still have the microphone here. Yeah, so I see where things are heading here in Norway. I see that there are decisions being made, decisions that have been made that are extremely, extremely destructive. I can see that. It's not difficult to see that. You will be called. It's this attitude that you're a traitor if you leave Norway. That scares me the most. Did you know they have exit tax now? They will tax you almost 50%. They take half of what you own if you leave the country. Do you know that? So anyone out there who think that that's fair is a effing idiot, or I don't know what to call those people. By the way, I have decided to try not to curse. We want to keep this conversation pleasant. But that to me is, I feel that if we get a conservative government, which we most likely will not, then that they will hopefully take away that exit tax, and that will be my window to get out. And if you want to know, you know what they're saying? If you are successful and have built up some wealth in Norway, it's because of Norway, not because of you. It's because of social democracy. It's not because of your talent. It's because of the social democracy making Norway into such a nice, good place that makes it possible for you to build a business. That's what they're saying. Yeah. Baron Arcanus, I agree. It's very close to communism. Very close to communism. Let's see here. So, let's see. Exit tax is how much? Well, I say half, but it's a bit complicated to calculate it. But it's is it 39%? Something like that. Yeah. So basically, this is the problem, right? So you try to build something for yourself and your family, and the taxes take everything. And I am very tired. I'm physically not 100% anymore. And what I'm seeing now is that, I have to keep working. In Norway, I have to keep working until into my 70s. And I don't even know if I'll be around at that age. It doesn't feel like it at this point. So, that's the thing, So that's the problem. So maybe it's time to look at some other options. Yeah, and that's the Raffle West. I never thought about moving to another country from America. If we don't like where we live, we can just move to another state within the US. Yeah, exactly. You have everything within your country. And that's a huge advantage. And also, I will say, I've given Americans a lot of what's it called? Heat? No, is that something else? Criticism. Yeah, something like that. You know what I mean? During live streams here. But flack. Yeah, okay. And all my love for America has gotten a little bit lost in the whole thing. But I think it's important to remember that the USA is a unique country. And if we go back, it's easy to see why Americans have the attitude that they have today. They were the ones who rebelled, who wouldn't be ruled by a king or a queen, and they left their countries. And they took land, well, basically stole it in many cases from the natives, and they built something new over there in the USA. And that attitude that we will not be ruled over by someone, that attitude is still it seems very prevalent, if that's the right word, very dominating in the USA. And I like that attitude. Are Americans like that, or is it just something that they imagine that they are? I don't know, but it's at least there's an attitude like that. I like that. I think it fits very well with my attitude. So yeah, and here it's very different. While Norwegians, if you want to know, while Norwegians will become very aggressive when people in other countries tell us what to do, because we hate that. We hate that. And I'm quite certain that the Norwegian military would fight the massive Russian army if they had to. It's because it's the attitude. Well, I don't know, but that's at least it is the attitude. But within the country, and this is important to understand about Norway and most, at least Northern European countries, there's a dogma, there's a system that keeps you down. You're not supposed to rebel against the dogma and against the rules within your country, which makes it very different from the USA. Okay. Alex says, trust me, Eastern Europeans are even worse when it comes to this. Yeah, might be. Yeah, kingdoms and kobolds. Yes, I'm not an expert on this, but I know that it with the natives and all of that. It wasn't as simple as often portrayed in the movies. Let's see. Yeah, so basically, it's about money at the end of the day. If you can't, you have to look at the situation. So, and people here in Norway, if you say that, well, I'm going to emigrate because I'm tired of paying all these taxes, they will say, you know what they will say? Well, you won't get free healthcare then. Okay. I'm not getting free healthcare now. free healthcare. You know what they could afford me painkillers like tablets, pills. That's all. So all of the physical therapy, all of that I'm doing, I have to pay for myself. And I said it before. I don't see why we should. It's this Norwegian thing. You shouldn't talk about money. You shouldn't talk about how much money you earn, how much you pay in taxes. That's stupid. So effing. I'll start saying effing stupid. I want. I don't care. So I pay about 50,000, or is it more, dollars? The last few years, I paid about $50,000 per year in taxes. And that's insane. And if you think that's normal, and if you think it's okay, then basically you're a slave to the dogma. Dogma, that is. Yeah, Hotep, it's exactly right there. You still pay for it because it's included in the taxes. And also, it's like, if I see someone living on McDonald's food and beer and who smokes, I'm paying for that person's medical bills as well through my taxes. And I don't think that's right, actually. But we will have to see, what happens in the USA. Ashu says carnivore equals free healthcare. Okay, Uval says, okay, when are you coming? Justin says, I don't know, it's hard living in America. Don't let it fool you. You yourself have commented on how hard Americans work and things aren't going to get easier anytime soon. Yeah, that's probably true, Justin, but the thing is, I don't have to work anymore. If I didn't have to pay all these taxes, I wouldn't have to work. And inflation is also mentioned here, and the policies in the USA now is, at least according to economic theory, it's going to increase the inflation. I'm not making that up. That's just, it would require another chapter, a new chapter in the books of economy, right? If people don't see high inflation in the USA in the near future. We have this guy here again. The men in Norway are soft, says Trap. What do you think? You're gone. So stupid. Where was I? Yeah, he's ignored now in the sense that he's gone. Yeah, so you get high inflation because of the policies. But then, okay, it doesn't really have to affect you that much. It depends. It depends. If you don't buy much, then inflation won't bother you so much. If you, you will have to pay for your food, of course, and so on. But I'm not that worried. In my case, I'm being very selfish here, talking about my situation. But in my case, I don't have to buy so much. So inflation doesn't really bother me. The only thing that bothers me is the price of healthy food, like red meat. And the price has been increased like crazy here. And it's because, you're destroying the environment if you eat red meat. No, I'm not. But yeah. Who do you think destroys most? Who is the most destructive consumer when it comes to the environment? Someone who buys basically only non-processed food, like some vegetables and a lot of red meat, or someone who buys a lot of potato chips, chocolate, ultra processed, these little bags with some kind of crappy dinner in it. I mean, my guess is that I'm actually much more environmentally friendly there than those people who can consume a lot of stuff. You know, electric cars. Yeah. I don't want an electric car. KP says, we have farmers market here. You can buy meat. It's wonderful. Yeah, Jake says, big guys like you and I have to eat more food than the average person and more protein. Yeah, it gets expensive. That is right. That's correct. Yeah. Homeplan says, I like walking along the road. I like electric cars. Yeah. Well, I don't have anything against electric cars, but I don't want one myself because then I'm suddenly dependent on the electric grid. Let's see here. Electric scooters, is Steph. Well, actually, I would consider an electric scooter. I have an electric bicycle, and I have been considering using that to get to the gym. But every time that I have been considering that, I've considered that it's much more easy to take the car. So yeah, but now my son is, in a few months, will have a driver's license. So then he'll probably take my car, and I'll be left without the car. And yeah, so then I'll have to use that electric bicycle. Yeah, my electric bicycle is very heavy. Yeah. Let's see. Homeplan says walk to the gym. It takes me, I think, 40 minutes to walk there. So, yeah, so that's a bit of a project. Carola says, I have an electric bike and I love it. Yeah, they are nice. Yeah. Dawn says the gym is 5 minutes away. Well, if your gym is like 5 minutes away, I guess, then you can walk there, of course. KP Hidden says there's a gym here called Valhalla. That sounds great. Green-eyed lady says, does your city have city bikes, which are bikes you rent? I don't live in a city, and there's a city here nearby. It's a small city, though. They have electric scooters that you can rent. Yeah. Carl says, absolutely perfect start on this Monday morning. Well, thank you, Carl. Thank you. Let's see. I think moving to the USA is a bit of a project, but why not? At the end of the day, as I said, if I didn't have to pay taxes, I could retire now. Retiring for me doesn't mean I stop working. It means that I don't have to work. So, which is a big difference. So if there's like 0% tax, I would be in that position now, right? If I continue living in Norway with taxes that will not go down, they will probably go up. Then I don't even see, and the cost of living here as well, I don't even see at this point, actually, I'm not able to save up money anymore. So that's the problem. So that's the problem. Kim is asking, is there zero taxes in the USA? Well, not now, but Trump is saying that he wants 0% tax on income under $150,000 per year. Now, the question is, of course, will he be able to pull that off? The other question is, of course, what happens after this term? And my guess is the following. Up until I heard about the 0% tax thing, I said that I think the Democrats will win the next presidential election. Now, I'm not so sure, because if they manage to change the economy into an economy with 0% income tax for most people, do you think that the Democrats will win when they say, well, vote for us and we will reintroduce the taxes? They would have to do what they do here in Norway. They say, oh, we will tax the rich. The rich are bad people. They will have to pay for being such bad and evil people. That's what the socialists here are saying. That's code for, or that's another way of saying, we will tax you. Let's see. So Homeplan says something about something I don't understand, to be honest with you. But I mean, there's a hope there. There is a hope there. And even if they reduce the tax to, let's say if they reduce the income tax to 10%, also flat rate 10%, even if they do that, then it would be complete game changer. Now, why am I focusing on this? Well, because it's the missing piece in the puzzle. I won't go into a long explanation, but if all the other things seem a bit crazy, the Trump administration, they're doing crazy stuff. But if they add to that 0% income tax, then suddenly you have an economy, a system that could work. And you need to understand economic theory to kind of know what I'm talking about there. It's a completely different kind of economy. But it's you can see it in some other countries. And I don't want to come across as someone who knows it all, but it's you'll see what happens. If they do that, you will see how that works. Yeah. Kingdoms and Kobolds talking about 0% for healthcare. It's absurd. It is absurd in a way. Well, because we pay for that through the taxes, of course. And they do the same here now in Norway because they connected Norway to the electric grid in continental Europe. So now we have to pay for high price of the highest bidder, basically. And electricity power is extremely expensive here now. And then the government said, we will help you. We will give you financial support for that. We will kind of keep the price down with some aid. And I'm like, can't people see that what they are saying is that the price will be the same? It's just that you'll pay more of that through your taxes. Yeah. There's another thing here. Ashu, thank you for mentioning that. When is Norway projected to get CBDC? October, same as the EU. I don't know, but it's coming. So basically, what is coming is a much more totalitarian system, and people will just accept it. Most people. Now, I'm not going to be naive here and say that, in the USA, everything will be so much better. But in a strange way, you could say that the anti-European rhetoric, which is stupid, but still, the anti-European rhetoric and the isolationism that this government in the USA seems to be aiming for could actually help you. If you move to the USA, you move away from Europe, out of that, into the USA, it could actually help you. But we will see. We will see. That isolationism could mean, I'm not saying it will, but it could mean that the USA stays out of that digital currency, that CBDC tyranny, the state controlled digital currency. I believe Trump said that they're not going to do that, but we never know. You never know. Yeah. Yeah, Baron says USA banned CBDC. Hmm. Yeah, kingdoms and kobolds and sharp canines. We're all friends here. Yeah, and I think that sometimes words can be taken out of their context. So I don't. I think that it's all fine. You know. Mike says, are there any European countries that you would consider moving to because of taxes? Not anymore. Not anymore. They're either too populated or the taxes are too high. Yeah. So I know Elon Musk, he's the subject of hate from the left. And I think a lot of that is because he was basically viewed as a hero for the people to the left in politics. And what I see there is, let's see here. Come to the USA and do hiking meetup. I would like to do that. Where was that? Yeah, okay. So Elon Musk. So Dodge. He is a little bit controversial, right? But if you look at what they are doing, it's brutal. It's happening maybe a little bit too fast. I don't know. But it's probably necessary because the USA was reaching its debt ceiling, as it's called. They didn't have any choice. And also, if you want to change the culture and the society into a no tax society or a no income tax society, you have to have a very, very small state. So I couldn't really get why they were doing that, but then they're saying no tax, and then it all makes sense. And then you can kind of choose, do you want to live in a no tax state with a very small government, or do you want to live in a high tax state with a big government? It's up to you. I would like to live in a small government state with no taxes, no income taxes. And you can call me whatever you like, but that's me. People are different. I know what deal is here. The deal here is that as I worked myself into ill health, that has already happened. So thank you fucking very much, Norway. And I'll continue doing that here in Norway until I drop, basically. Yeah. Carl says, I would love to see Dodge down here in Scandinavia. I bet it's no better here. If people only knew what our money was spent on, they would probably create an uproar. Yes. I would love to see that too. I would love to see that too. You know what? I'll tell you a little story. It's not, you can find much worse stories, but someone I know, she had her own business. And because of different reasons, she said that she started working in what's it called? Public healthcare. Public healthcare. Okay. And she was shocked of the lack of efficiency. So coming from, running your own business to the world of to an environment where people were hired by the state in healthcare. She will. I'm not. I don't want to generalize here. I'm just telling you this story. This is what she told me. Her colleagues in public healthcare, they would have so many breaks. They would have so many advantages that she never had as someone who ran her own business. And she was shocked, and it was frustrating to her to see that. So yeah, and I think that tells a lot. Let's see here. Ascension Unchained. Well, my health. There are some heavy days, but I do believe in the body's ability to heal itself, and you just have to give the body the right conditions to do that. And I can't do that here like this. So, Kingdoms and Cobalt says there is generally a vast difference in economic efficiency between most government services and private companies. Yes. Yeah. Dawn, thank you for saying that. Off-grid land, Maine. I think Maine would be too cold for me now. I want to sit in the sun and have sun on my neck and my face. Yeah, but I don't know. I have dogs, of course, which could be brought somewhere to the USA. I'm dreaming here a little bit, but we need to be able to do that. The dogs are still young, so I've looked. I don't want to put them on an airplane like in the cargo. But I know there are some airplanes where you can have the dogs inside with you. Maybe it costs a lot of money, but it would be worth it. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, I also about which state. I have to look at which state has the death penalty. And this is a strange one, because without getting into the ethics and politics there, I have this nightmare sometimes, actual nightmare, that I'm being set up and arrested and put on death row. Yeah. So so I wouldn't want to live in a state that has the death penalty. That's I really don't like that. Set up for what? I don't know. It's just a nightmare. is a nightmare. Kim has an interesting question here. What is your prediction for Scandinavia in 2 years? I'll answer mostly about Norway. I see more and more people moving out of Norway. If we get a conservative government now and they remove the exit tax, a lot of people who have their own company will move that company and themselves out of Norway. So that's the first thing. I see Norway becoming a country with extreme cost of living, an extreme level their cost of living. We are already there, but it's going to get worse. The latest projections concerning inflation here is inflation in Norway is very high, and they don't want to talk about that, but it was 7 point, the food prices, right? Food prices. In a year now, you compare, let's say we had February, right? So you compare February this year to February last year. And I heard in the news that the food prices had increased more than 7% in that year, between February this year and February last year. And that's quite a lot. You have to eat, you know. So I see that happening. I see also, I'm sorry to say this, but I see Norwegian people going to fight in Ukraine. And we will see in the next 2 years, we will see the first Scandinavians killed in Ukraine. Now, having said that, I don't know for sure if there have been some, maybe there have been some who voluntarily have been fighting in Ukraine, either for the Russians or for the Ukrainians. I don't know. But we will see Norwegian, Scandinavian soldiers fighting in Ukraine against Russia and getting killed within 2 years. And I really, really hope I'm wrong on that one. Yeah, within the next 2 years. I don't think it will take, Justin, I don't think it will take 2 years. It will be sooner, within those 2 years. Because I think, and again, I hope I'm wrong, I'm not an expert on geopolitical issues, but I suspect that Russia will not accept the peace deal. And I think Trump will not be able to pull that off. So again, we're talking a lot about the USA here. The USA has a big advantage. What is that? Many, some would say, but what is, the way I see it, maybe the biggest advantage you can have as a country? What is that? Anyone want to guess what I'm talking about here? Yes, kingdoms and kobolds. Those two big, beautiful ocean, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Because of course you have Canada to the north, you have Mexico to the south. but it's when it comes to Canada, it's just stupid to say things that stay friends with Canada, okay. But anyway, so you don't have a border to an enemy, which is enemy. No, you don't have a border to a country that could become your enemy in an armed conflict. So you have the oceans there, which is an extremely advantage, a big advantage. We have nuclear bombs and all of that, of course, but I mean, it's a big advantage. Lots of people are saying guns. My unpopular opinion here is that guns isn't going to make any difference. In situations of armed conflict, it's not the guns, it's other things, the general health in your population, sanitary conditions. A lot more people die from diseases when your society breaks down, which is the first thing your enemy will try to make happen, by the way. It's not about the guns. It's about if you're able to get rid of your human waste, and if you're able to get access to antibiotics and so on. Guns won't help you. You can have 1,000 guns, and if you can't get rid of your human waste, if you can't get clean water, those guns are not going to help you. Sorry. Ghost user says food is the other major advantage. Yeah, I don't know. Is the USA self sustained with food? I don't know. It should be. Of course. Yes, of course, guns will help you if you have civil unrest, if you have criminals on the street, and I'm not being naive here. We were talking about armed conflict there. I was talking about armed conflict with another country. Self-sustaining should be, at least. Let's see here. So big advantage. And of course, there are problems in the USA. Of course, there are problems. I've been to the USA and I was shocked. I'd never seen people with mental issues out in the streets screaming, and people. I have seen people on drugs in the street before, but like in Los Angeles, they were everywhere. It was shocking to see that. But then, I drove north, and I stopped in a few places there, and it was very nice people, and civilized. But yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying that things are perfect, obviously not, and it's so well, the drug thing, it's an obvious problem, and yeah, it's about the culture, I think. Liberal views on that. But I don't think, I hope I'm correct here, I don't think that's a problem everywhere. It's like, yeah, Gladys Kravitz Jr. says the rural communities are still okay. Lavalata 1981 says, I think should check out North Carolina and Virginia. You're mentioning you might want to move. Yes, I'm looking at the East Coast and by the sea there. Yeah. I like forest and I like the sea. So, yeah. Yeah, homeless problem. That's another one. People being homeless. That's also something I've not seen before. We don't have that here in Norway. So you could say the high taxes is the good thing about that is that you don't have homeless people, for instance. But forgive me for being a little bit selfish after having worked my backside off for all my life. I think I have provided enough for people at this point. I've done my part. Yeah. So, yeah. Gun laws. I don't know. The gun laws there. I know the Norwegian gun laws. Lots of guns in Norway. I mean, it's too many in my opinion. But it's much more liberal, of course, with guns in the USA. And let's put it this way: I do not want to move to a place in the USA where I have to have a gun. You know, maybe I will get a gun. Probably not. I'm not interested in guns. But it's like I wouldn't want to live somewhere where I should have a gun for safety. You know, do you have to register a bow, like a hunting bow? In Norway, you don't have to do that. So, no, you don't have to. Okay, you don't have to register a bow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Hotep says Alaska is out of the question. I would like to go to Alaska. I think it would be too cold to live there. Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but I think the reality is here, and more people, the reality is here in Europe, is that they will tax us so much that it's going to be impossible to save, for most people, to save up wealth for your retirement. And they're not going to be able to pay you like state pension or whatever it's called in a couple of decades. It will be gone. That money will be gone, and they're spending a lot of that money in Norwegian pension fund. Where do you think the money for the weapons in Ukraine are coming from? It's the pension fund, Norwegian pension fund. And they're saying that, well, it is an investment in freedom. Yeah. Okay. The weapons industry are applauding all day long when they're not counting their money. So yeah, eventually you will face the difficult question, am I going to be here where I will have to work my entire life and work hard my entire life, because you won't be able to retire here. That option will not be there for you. Will you do that, or will you try to find somewhere else to live? Yeah. AI, another important question. We won't talk about that now because I talked for 1.5 hours already. Yes. Let's see here. Any questions? When it comes to people being woke, I don't care. I don't care if people are being Christian. No, not Christian. I don't care if people are evangelists, as long as they're not doing it right in front of me. I don't care if people are being woke, as long as they're not shouting right in front of me. I care much less about that than paying taxes. Do you think I look woke? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I see it. Oh, here's a question. Ben is asking, would you please call your future trip to America and touring around the States Bjorn in the USA? Like born in the USA. Oh, very funny. Yes. Yeah. Maybe I will. Let's see here. Yeah, exactly. Ascension Unchained. When they impose their ideologies, when I have a problem. Yeah, I don't think that will happen. Baron Arcanus. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Now, hope you enjoyed this live stream. So I will try to do it at the same time every morning or evening if you're in North America. 6 o'clock. I'll try to do that. And concerning YouTube and all of that, this is a good way to do it. It doesn't require that much. I'll see if I can have a different setup with so I can show you some articles and stuff, maybe. We'll see how that works. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'll see you tomorrow then, at the same time. Okay. Have a wonderful, is it St. Patrick's Day? Wonderful St. Patrick's Day.